The UIPM World Cup Series brings over 140 athletes from 25 nations here to a sunny welcome in the regional town of Dronkov in Poland, where pentathlon has a long and popular tradition. It's the last round of 4 of the World Cup Series, which follows on from Los Angeles, Cairo and Hungary. So the final chance to gain the points to qualify to be in the top 36 that get invited to the World Cup final in Lithuania to decide the title. Coming up, we'll be bringing you the action of the men, women's and mixed relay competitions, with the 200-metre swim in the pool, the head-to-head épée fencing, the against-the-clock riding, and finally the combined laser pistol with its 3,200 metres of running. It's certainly a unique, exciting and tough test of all-round Olympic sporting abilities that face them in the pentathlon. So with the scene set, we go straight to the women's competition, and among the athletes here, quite naturally one to watch out for, previous world number 1 and winner of the last round, Laura Azadeskaite from Lithuania. But also here, rebuilding after her Olympic silver medal, Elodie Clouvel from France. A good swimmer and a good fencer, not so keen in the riding, but with good proven abilities in the running and the shooting. But these top ladies won't have it all their own way, with a youngster who has been improving all season waiting in the wings. 20-year-old Ilka Öztürkçü of Turkey has proved super strong in her laser run finishes so far, but just needs to give herself a stronger platform from the opening disciplines. And finally, in the mix of contenders, world number 6, Annika Schlew from Germany, who is also on her post-Olympic comeback trail.
The training feel really good. I had a break after Olympics, but I start really well. The season is going good. I had a bit of bad luck in the riding the first 2 World Cups, but last World Cup went really good, and I hope to improve this World Cup. Fencing is always like so-so in my disciplines. Sometimes I fence really bad, and it's really hard to stay strong for the next disciplines. But this year I now have a really good combined, and compared to the others I have a really good running. So I always know, never give up, keep fighting to the last discipline, because the last is my best. I hope I can have a good result. I hope I can do at least top 10 would be good, and I think it's possible if I have a okay fence and a good ride.
So some interesting possibilities in the women's competition as we head to the pool, but it's all down to performance on the day, as we saw when Eva Serapinaite of Lithuania sprung a surprise in her heat with a super fast time. But all eyes now on the top names as we go to the last heat action with our reporter and Beijing silver medalist Heather Fell.
The fastest seed in the fastest heat, Elodie Clouvel of France, will go in lane 4. But the second fastest seed, Samantha Murray, will be right next to her in the centre of the pool. And it'll be the fastest times posted from this heat. Elodie Clouvel already with the lead, but Samantha Murray of Great Britain onto her shoulder as they go into the second half of this race. Alice Sotero, the black cap, going very well on the shoulder of Murray. And the far side of the pool, Samak Delmaksoud of Egypt is very much in touch as they make the final turn. It's Clouvel who leads, but Samantha Murray had a great underwater phase there and has made up some considerable distance onto Clouvel as the French swimmer now puts on the final burner. She's starting to stretch away from the rest of the field, and you can see the battle really is for second, third and fourth between these three as they're stroke for stroke. Clouvel stretches ahead. She's got a body length lead, and Elodie Clouvel wins the heat with the fastest time of the day. Samak Delmaksoud touches for second, and it was incredibly close between Sotero and Murray for third.
I'm so happy. It's my best time for this season. Not hard training in swimming, just swim easy. And 2:10, it's good time, and I'm so happy. I'm smile. It's okay.
So Clouvel 2 points ahead of Salma Abdelmaksoud, but it was really close for third, fourth and fifth, and actually all athletes on 286 points together with just hundredths of a second separating them. So all to play for in the fencing ranking round, where 36 athletes had 35 bouts each. Alice Sotero, Elodie Clouvel, 2 of the quickest in the pool, were looking to add to their strong performances, and Francesca Summers of Great Britain had all to play for after a strong ranking round. Well, this lady, Natalie Dianova, had a great bonus round competition with 10 bonus points. It was the 2 swimmers who had to battle it out on the bonus, and Elodie Clouvel came out on top and faced Nina Pretzintsova of Belarus, who put her run in this bonus competition to an end. There's another Italian matchup. Tognetti and Tocchi were battling it out for an extra bonus point, and it was Tocchi who took the win and took herself through to the final bout of this bonus round, where she would face the overall fencing leader, Francesca Summers of Great Britain, who'd had a storming run in the ranking round event. She just needs one more victory to top the overall fencing standings in this bonus competition. Tocchi, though, looking for those extra points against the Brit. Italy having a strong performance so far for all of their team in the fencing competition, but it's Summers who gets the final touch with a lovely stop hit as Tocchi came in with the attack. Summers was there ready and waiting, and she took the overall fencing bonus win, and that puts her out on top when the swimming scores are added. But look at Italy looking incredibly strong with 4 athletes inside the top 10. On to the riding event, where the athletes have the challenge of getting to know a completely unknown horse. Just 20 minutes in which to practice 5 practice fences before they come into the main arena and have to tackle this 12 obstacle course. Samantha Murray made the most of the riding event, moving right up to 5th position with a strong ride, just dropping 1 pole. Lara Azadar-Skaiti kept herself very much in contention, just dropping 10 points. But Francesca Tognetti was one of the few to get a maximum score, 300 points in the riding, and a very stylish round by the young Italian put her in contention. Her teammate Gloria Tocchi, not quite as tidy, and a glance over the shoulder there showed another rail getting knocked down, so some points lost for Tocchi in the riding event. And it was Alice Sotero who joined Tognetti for another clear round, gaining the maximum 300 points, a perfect riding score.
Perfect for the young Italian, but not so for the last 2 riders. Knowing Sotero had done so well, Elodie Cluval was to have a hard fall trying to push her unfamiliar mount a little too hard. She was to retire, but the final rider, Francesca Summers, was to suffer a similar fate. Although the Brit remounted, her final time and fence faults were to drop her to 20th and out of contention. So that meant a totally changed leaderboard, with the Italians in total domination, as the points translated into seconds of handicap for the staggered start of the laser run. But still, only 46 seconds covering the top 10, so this could be a very tight race indeed, as we rejoin the action highlights with Heather Fell.
So the Italians are the ones to beat, or the ones to catch, as the athletes set off on the 4 laps of 800 metre running for a shooting series. It's Alice Sotero with number 1 on her vest and a 12-second advantage over the closest rival, who also happens to be her teammate Tognetti. Well, Sotero will know that the shooting is vital. She'll know her running ability, she'll know her teammates and competitors' ability when it comes to the 800 metre running laps, but the shooting really can alter on the day when the pressure is on. How can Sotero and Tognetti deal with this pressure at the start? Tocchi joining them on the range, but Sotero already out onto her first lap of running. Rina Shimazu joining the Italians on the range in 4th place. Alice Sotero, who sets out on the first 800 metre lap, and she'll have a chance on one of the switchbacks to see how close the chasing fields are. You can see in the background now, there's one of her teammates hoping to close the gap. Tognetti still in 2nd position comfortably. Alice Sotero still with the lead, but here's a chasing pack, and look how thick and fast they're coming. Lara Azadar-Skaiti 17, Ilka Zuxel 19, already starting to move up through the field as they come in for the 2nd shoot. Alice Sotero looks as though she's opened up that gap a little bit over her teammate, and it's strong shooting here from Sotero. 1 more green light needed. She has it when Tognetti just has the 1 green light on the target. So Alice Sotero's opening up that lead already. Tognetti had a strong 2nd shoot, so the Italians still comfortably in 1st and 2nd as the rest of the field join Tocchi on the range now. And I think these positions are going to start changing. Murray and Coyle, Shimazu leaving the range, trying to chase down these leaders while having a strong run is Alessandra Frezza, who passes Gloria Tocchi, her teammate, but it's still Italy out in front at the top of the field. Sotero still being chased down by Tognetti. Frezza having a strong run as she becomes the 3rd Italian in this race as they come in for the 3rd shoot of 4. But Lara Azadar-Skaiti is spoiling the Italian party as she overtakes Gloria Tocchi. on the way up through the field. Ilkra Züksel of Turkey moving up through the field, as well as Azadeh Asgaiti as they come into the range for the third time. It's Alice Sotero who's maintaining that lead. She looks very comfortable out in front. And now there goes Frezza, another one of the Italians, but it's Tognetti still in second. But here comes Azadeh Asgaiti already up to third, Züksel up into fourth. They're trying to chase down the leader, Alice Sotero, looking comfortable, and it looks as though it's going to be a battle between second and third as they start to close on these leaders. Alice Sotero with one shoot left to go. She's going to have the pressure from Azadeh Asgaiti, the pressure from Züksel. Can she handle this on the shooting range? She's out with 5 green lights. Frezza still having a strong competition, but further down the range is Laura Azadeh Asgaiti, who's going to be giving it absolutely everything to close that gap. It's the final 800 metres, and Azadeh Asgaiti is going to give it everything. Ilkra Züksel still in the mix as well, but you can see the gap here. It looks as though it might be too much, even for the strong run of the Lithuanian, and the little fist pump from Alice Sotero shows she knows she's got it. The final corner, Alice Sotero up the ramp and across the line. She becomes the new champion of World Cup 4. She led from the start of this laser run, and she took the title in style, chasing her home into the silver place. It's Laura Azadeh Asgaiti of Lithuania, and a strong performance from 19th up to 3rd for Ilkra Züksel.
I feel great, and it's my first World Cup victory. Maybe I was more emotional in Cairo, but this one was strong emotions too. We are all training really well. I'm very happy to have had a podium finish and having my teammates next to me.
So big smiles for the ever-improving Italian girl as she puts herself firmly in the running for the World Cup title in Lithuania, where Laura Azadeh Asgaiti will have home fans on her side. So an exciting season finale in prospect there in the women's as we go to the men's and mixed relay competitions after the break. Welcome back to Dronkov in Poland as we look towards the top competitors warming up for what is shaping up to be an exciting men's competition. Among the athletes here to watch, probably the season's best all-round performer, Pavlo Tymoshenko from Ukraine. A win in Cairo and 2 other third places on the tour so far. Silver medalist at the Rio Olympics. He's working on his swimming still, but from there he just gets stronger and stronger. Certainly a World Cup title contender this year. But also here, current world champion and former world number 1, Valentin Bello of France. Another good all-rounder, he's an athlete with a strong track record who's been building his programme steadily after the Olympics.
Quite different because it followed the Rio Olympic Games, and because of that we started our training quite late in January. We'd enjoyed a good holiday after this last long season and my World Championship title and the Olympics. We had a lot of promotional and media stuff to do, so it was good to have a holiday. This year we'll use the World Cups to improve some specific skills. The main objectives are the European Championships in July and the World Championship in August, where I will defend my title.
But lots of other talented contenders here, as once again we go to Heather Fell for the action highlights.
It was a strong start to the day for Ilya Plazkov with a win in heat number 1. Heat number 4 saw a win for Taishu Sato of Japan. It was the fastest seeded swimmers that went in heat 5. 2 athletes representing Korea were in the mix as the athletes battled it out. It started with the centre 2 lanes, the fastest seeded, Cicinelli and Elgendi, who had the lead at the 100-metre turn. Still in the mix, Wung Tae-jun of Korea started to increase the pace, and he stretched ahead to take the win at the finish. It was Mattia Cicinelli of Italy who touched for second, and Simon Cass had a strong finish for France to get the third. So Korea's Wung Tae-jun got the fastest time of the day, putting him at the top of the standings going into the fencing event, but just 9 points separating all of the top 10. To the fencing ranking round, where valuable modern pentathlon points are up for grabs. Wung Tae-jun will be hoping to add to his strong score after the winning performance in the pool. Pavlo Tymoshenko, traditionally very strong in the fencing competition, will be hoping to move on up. While in the fencing bonus round, it was the top two swimmers, Cicinelli and Jun, who battled it out here. Cicinelli has been on great form, and he adds another bonus point to his score as he wins that match over Woong Tae-jun of Korea. Further on up the standings, it's Patrick Doeg of Germany, who now faces Ilya Palazkov of Belarus. And Palazkov is on form with the green light, winning that touch and staying in the bonus round. His next opponent is the Olympic silver medalist Pavlo Tymoshenko. And again, it's a winning touch for Palazkov, and that takes him into the final bout of this bonus round. And he will now face the overall fencing leader, Ji-hoon Lee of Korea. Well, this final match to decide who wins the bonus round, who gets those extra points added to their score. It's fast and furious for this final touch. A double touch there between Lee and Palazkov. Just 20 seconds remain. The pressure on both of these athletes. But it's Lee who, with the flesh attack, gets the red light and gets the overall win of the bonus round added to his ranking round victory. So the winner of the fencing event, Ji-hoon Lee, moves into the lead, pushing teammate Woong Tae-jun down into third. Ilya Palazkov of Belarus moves up into second. On to the riding event, where another skill is tested by these athletes. Such a short time to get used to an unknown horse before attempting this 12 obstacle course. Patrick Doeg was off to a strong start. A few poles down kept him in contention, but a little frustrated with those couple of mistakes. Tymoshenko moved up the rankings with a strong fence, but not helping himself with those mistakes in the riding competition. But he still has that strong laser run event to come. Jun, again, making mistakes that he cannot afford this tough end of the competition. Scoring just 283 out of the maximum 300 points, and that will drop him down slightly through these standings. Tip of the head shows the disappointment. Ilya Palazkov having one of the best competitions of his career so far, and this really could be an opportunity for the Belarusian. He's seen mistakes from the earlier rounds, and with just one pole down, he really does keep himself in contention. With a comfortable margin in the lead, Lee knows that he really could make the most of the mistakes from the earlier riders, but it isn't quite to be as he starts to lose that advantage he had going into the ride, with quite a few rails down and just a score of 279. So no changes in actual position at the top of the standings. Lee and Palazkov still first and second. It's further down where the significant changes are starting to happen ahead of the laser run. And there you see the advantage the top two have, but it's third to 10th place that are separated just by 25 seconds. Well, it's going to be very close in the chasing part of the pack, and they've all got their eyes on this man, our leader, Ji-hoon Lee, who sets off with that slim advantage ahead of Ilya Palazkov. They come into the shooting range for the first of the 4 shooting series. Big relaxing breath by Palazkov. He knows the situation, and he knows there's some fast runners that will be chasing them down. Well, first out, it is Lee. Palazkov will feel the pressure, but he's out before the rest of the field have chance to make much of an inroads. So the leading pair remain the same. It's first at the moment for Lee. Palazkov still in second. And there you see now the chasing athletes as they want to make inroads, start to put pressure onto the leaders. Well, Palazkov is putting pressure onto the leader, and he now moves into the first position as he runs past Lee. He'll be wanting to make that impact on the shooting range for that second series as they come in now. And Palazkov will have put pressure onto Lee. They pick up their pistols side by side for the second of these 4 shoots. Now, both athletes will be aware that there's some fast runners coming up behind them, and they need to remain consistent on the shooting range. And here come the next 2 athletes, but Palazkov and Lee are out. Jun and Doeg are battling it out on the shooting range. Cicinelli and Tymoshenko join them alongside. But here, our leading pair, it's still Palazkov and Lee, who run side by side. But there's Patrick Doeg and Woong Tae-jun, who are starting to really make an inroads into that leading margin. Timoshenko, such a strong runner. He's got some time to make up after those mistakes in the ride earlier on. So still halfway through now. The leading pair remain the same. It's Lee and Palazkov. Dogue making some mistakes there as he tried to find his shooting position, and Wong Tae-jun will have used that to his benefit to close that gap. And here the pressure is on. Palazkov is out with a bit of a margin now, and here's his first really significant move. Here goes Lee, but some valuable time lost, and look at that. Dogue and Jun are going to be hot on the heels of Lee. And this is the first time in the race where Palazkov actually sees himself with a significant lead ahead of the chasing three. What can he do with this advantage he has at this late stage of the race? It really is going to be a tough competition for these final few hundred meters with one more shoot to go. But these three are chasing. Lee has been caught up now by his teammate Wong Tae-jun and Patrick Dogue in that mix as well. Pavlo Timoshenko, one who's strong on the run and still one to watch. And you can see that gap is closing. Palazkov shaking out his arms with the final shoot to go. He knows that he's got the lead. He just needs to maintain his cool on the range because there is pressure for either side of him from the two Koreans, and further down the range, the German Dogue, who we know is quick on the run, and it's Lee who's regained the lead ahead of his teammate Jun. And now it looks like it's the battle between Dogue and Palazkov, and they leave together in third and fourth place. Well, Wong Tae-jun has taken advantage over his teammate, and it looks like Lee is down into second, but he's about to be chased down by Patrick Dogue, and Ilya Palazkov has got some work to do. He had the lead, but he's now trailing in fourth as Patrick Dogue puts in a kick, and he passes Lee, pushing Lee into third, and this is the battle for the silver and the bronze. They're trying to chase down the leader, but Wong Tae-jun has a comfortable margin. His hands are in the air. As he rounds the corner, he sees the finish line, and it's Wong Tae-jun who's crowned champion of World Cup 4. He's joined on the podium by his teammate Ji-hyun Lee, who takes the silver, and Patrick Dogue just out sprinted, but he comes home and wins the bronze for Germany.
I think the Korean team are together as one mind. And today we saw for the first time 3 Korean shirts in the top 10. The women are doing really well too. It's all about teamwork, and I'm very, very happy. It's been a great season so far.
한 마음으로 응원하고 열심히 할 수 있어서 좋은 성적 된 것 같아요.
So top 2 for the ever-improving Koreans as they now begin to ask questions for the final battle for the title. Could they spring a surprise in Lithuania? Well, we'll see, but to round off a great event here in Poland, a quick report on the mixed relay competition now, once again with Heather.
Well, 2 heats separating the field, and the fastest heat saw stiff competition from Kazakhstan, Ireland and Japan, the 3 fastest teams, and it came down to the touch with Japan winning just ahead of Ireland into the fencing ranking round, and the athletes remain in their teams, but it's the men who fence the men, the women who fence the women, and the points are added together to give an overall ranking score. Well, that is then taken into the bonus competition where valuable points are up for grabs, and it was Korea who had a strong event here, gaining some really valuable points over Ireland, but Ireland remained out on top with the overall victory in the fencing competition. Onto the riding event, and Poland were hoping that the home advantage could really help them in this tough competition, and with just 2 rails down it did see them move up through the standings. Ireland had a few mistakes which saw their lead diminish slightly, much to their frustration, but they remained on top as they headed into the laser run. So Ireland remain on top ahead of the host nation Poland. Korea also having a strong competition, very much in the mix as it's all to play for. Heading in to the final event, the laser run. 2 laps for the women, 2 laps for the men. Natalia Coyle of Ireland sets things off, and Poland's hopes soon start to diminish on the shooting range. Korea take advantage of the mistakes there as Ireland stay out in front with the rest of the field, doing their best to catch them, but Arthur Lanigan O'Keefe looked calm and collected on the range and on the running course. The battle then became for the silver and the bronze between Korea, Germany and Kazakhstan on that final run, but it was Ireland who stayed out on top and took the title of the winners of World Cup 4. Germany coming home to win the silver and Kazakhstan taking the bronze. So a strong performance by the Irish duo saw them win the gold, Germany the silver, and Kazakhstan fought off Korea to take the bronze.
So all set for some exciting battles in all categories at the World Cup final. If you want to see extended coverage from Poland, join us on UIPMTV.org. But after that, we'll see you in Lithuania.